Okay, here we go with our first example video for trig sub. So what I notice here for this first integral of the square root of 1 minus x squared is that this one looks a lot like this top Pythagorean identity, except if I moved one of them over to the other side. So let's say I move cosine squared theta to the other side. So then this 1 minus cosine squared theta looks a lot like this 1 minus x squared if I let x be cosine theta. So that's the sub I'm going to use. It doesn't matter, you actually could have used sine or cosine here, but you'll get the same answer either way. So then I could differentiate both sides, get negative sine theta d theta, and I can just plug everything in. I have the integral of 1 minus cosine squared theta under the square root. And then I gotta multiply by negative sine theta d theta. Here I get 1 minus cosine squared is sine squared, and then under the square root cancels out, and I get negative sine squared theta. Because here's sine theta, and here's negative sine theta. So here's, going back to the very last section, trig integrals. You got to know your half angle formula. So this is going to be integral negative 1/2, the negative comes out, and then I'm doing the 1/2 from the formula, and I get 1 minus cosine of 2 theta, which is negative 1/2 times theta minus 1/2 sine 2 theta. So let me draw my arrow to say this is going down, and I get negative 1/2 theta plus 1/4 sine of 2 theta. Okay, so now just like before, I have to turn everything back into x's. This is the trickier part of trig sub, because you have to be careful with your signs of 2x's. You have to know your double angle identities. Theta is not too hard to do. Theta is just inverse cosine of x. So I'll get minus 1/2 arc cosine x. And then sine 2 theta, one of the identities you gotta know, is that sine of 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta. So I have a 1/4 times 2 sine theta cosine theta. And now I gotta change these back into x's. So sine theta, cosine theta is easy. Cosine theta just turns into x. So I'm gonna change that, and then we'll talk about sine. I get negative 1/2 arc cosine x plus 1/2 times cosine theta is x sine theta, and now I got to figure out what sine theta is. Whenever you have to do these trig, like figure out the other angles, we always have to do it with the triangle. So here's theta. I know cosine theta is x, so that makes adjacent over hypotenuse, and then the rest of it by the Pythagorean theorem. Sine theta will then be opposite over hypotenuse, so it'll be just root 1 minus x squared. And then I have my plus c, and that's it.